And our next story comes from Israel. Before I tell you more about it, I want you to take a look at these images. That was a symbolic hourglass that was put up by the protesters in Tel Aviv. Why is that? To deliver a strong message. They say that time is running out for Israeli democracy. Nationwide protests marked a day of paralysis. In fact, demonstrations have rocked the country for weeks now. Judicial reforms planned by Benjamin Netanyahu, and amid this unrest, the Israeli parliament has passed a law which will save Netanyahu from the chaos and might just destroy Israel. What exactly is this new law all about? As part of the controversial judicial overhaul, the parliament has majorly limited the ways in which a prime minister can be deemed unfit for office, which means only the prime minister or the cabinet with a two-thirds majority can declare a leader unfit. The law also states that the government will only unseat a prime minister when they face a physical or mental incapacity. But what if the people file a request for the prime minister to step down? That will also not be entertained, as it prevents the Supreme Court from considering such requests. And this new move is part of a broader set of changes which include giving the government control over the appointment of judges and limiting the top court's ability to strike down laws. It has been pretty clear to the opposition parties for a while now that this new move, the new law, aims to protect Netanyahu as he faces an ongoing corruption trial. The Israeli Prime Minister, remember, is on trial for charges of fraud, breach of trust and bribery. He has dismissed the charges, calling them a politically motivated witch hunt. So what is the opposition doing? It has announced plans to challenge the law in the top court. In fact, former Prime Minister Yair Lapid has called it a disgraceful and corrupt personalized law, highlighting the fact that Netanyahu is just looking out for himself while the cost of living soars and people are out on the streets protesting for months now. And the protesters have had it up to the brim. They are not only expressing their anger against Benjamin Netanyahu, but also his wife. Remember, earlier this month, Sarah Netanyahu was also in the eye of the storm. You know where she was when Israel was witnessing protests on what was being called a day of disruption? At a salon in Tel Aviv, getting her hair done. According to reports, a client at the salon posted a selfie with Sarah Netanyahu, and within minutes, hundreds of protesters laid siege to the parlor. The anger was palpable. Demonstrators outside the salon chanted, "Shame, shame," and the country is burning and Sarah is getting a haircut. That's what they said. And in an attempt to convince the people, government officials have said that the new changes are what the country needs. But critics can see right through the government's words. They call Netanyahu's moves a fundamental threat to the country's checks and balances. The reforms are capable of evaporating minority protection, fostering corruption, and damaging the country's economy. It's been 3 months since the protest started, and now Netanyahu virtually has a ticket to stay as prime minister for life. Where do things go from here? We will be keeping a close eye. We are now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.